Okay, so if you do like to do, when you sit, use a block or a cushion or whatever, then feel free to grab that to come and sit on. And then when you cross your legs, coming into Sukhasana, easy seated pose, you can let the legs come forwards. You can separate the knees a little bit more if that feels good. Just kind of whatever works for you. If sitting cross-legged isn't comfortable, then extend the legs, do whatever you need to do. I always forget that my blocks are cork blocks and they're really, they're not that comfy on my butt. So take the hands onto the knees and just squeeze the fingers in towards the palms. And then just simply release that tension. So you might end up with like claw hands a little bit. And then just roll the shoulders up to the ears, squeeze them together and roll them back down. And just take one ear towards the shoulder. Don't think about moving the ear really far. Just think about finding the stretch on the opposite side of the neck. So sometimes you almost want to go over then up, and that'll give you a deeper stretch. And come back to center and just do the same thing. Again, don't think about the ear touching the shoulder. Think about coming into the stretch and then sort of lifting up and out of the stretch. And then come back to center, and you're just going to slowly start to drop the chin towards the chest. Again, don't think about the chin touching the chest. Think about the back of the neck stretching. And once you find that stretch, kind of like pull the crown of the head away from the back. And then come back to center. We're going to lift the chin rather than thinking about dropping the head back. Lift, lift, lift. Almost like press your tongue into the roof of your mouth. And you might feel that deep in the stretch. Nice. And then slightly tuck the chin and close the eyes. And just notice the breath. Don't feel like you need to change it. And just notice what's happening with the inhale, what's happening with the exhale. We're going to move into a pranayama exercise that is an up-regulating breath, okay? And the reason we're doing an up-regulating breath is we're going to come into a physical practice. And at the end of the class, we're going to do a down-regulating breath to kind of calm us down after our practice. So the first breathing technique we're going to do is called Viloma breathing. And if you want to, you can open your eyes, but you can probably keep them closed. So it's a 3-step inhale process. The first is going to be an abdominal breath. So a little tiny whoop, fill the abdominals. The next is going to be a diaphragmatic, so more like the lower rib cage. And then the last part of the inhale is going to be a thoracic, so chest, shoulders, collarbones. And so you're going to be sipping in 3 breaths. And then as you sip in those breaths, you take a little pause. At the top one, at the top of the thoracic, you're not going to pause. You're just going to go straight into the exhale. So I'll just show it first. And you want to really think about those parts of the body expanding. So okay, so I'll count us through maybe the first 2, and then I want you to take 5 rounds on your own. So exhale the breath out, inhale into the belly, pause, inhale into the ribs, pause, inhale into the chest, and then exhale all of the breath out. Good. Do one more together. Inhale into the belly, inhale into the ribs, inhale into the chest, and let it all go. Nice. You're going to do 5 more on your own. Take your time. Last one here. And at the end of your last exhale, just come back to normal inhale and exhale. And just notice any changes, anything that you can notice, maybe mentally, physically, maybe you're feeling a little bit more awake. Nice. And then just flutter the eyes open. We're going to take an inhale, reaching our arms high to the sky. Interlace the fingers, lift through the palms. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, just start to reach over to one side or the other. And just like we were doing with the neck, don't think about going as far as you can over. Think about coming a little bit so you feel the stretch, and then lift up and out of the stretch. You can feel it change in my voice, because I'm going deeper into that stretch rather than crunching the side of my waist. Nice, back to center, and then take it over. And again, thinking about up and over rather than just over, over, over. Good. Take an inhale back to center. And as you exhale, push the hands forwards, round the back, draw the belly in, stretching the space between the shoulders as we come into what's called protraction. Okay, so shoulder blades are coming away from each other. Nice, release the hands. You're going to come behind the back with those hands. And now we're going to come into retraction. So start to squeeze the shoulders together, puff up the sternum, maybe stretch the throat, lifting the chin high. Good. Release the hands. Come on off that block if you're sitting on one. Place it to the side. Take the hands onto the mat. And let's just come through some cat-cows. Belly's going to drop. Sit bones are going to rise. Chest lifts. And then as you exhale, round, round, round in the back. Nice. And just take a few of these. Feeling into the body, finding that breath and movement relationship. Nice. And then come back to center. We're going to take that really nice twist. So we're going to bring our right hand up to the sky, reach as high as you can, and then thread the right arm under, taking that right shoulder down onto the floor. Walk that left hand forwards. Stay there. If you want to, walk your left hand over to the right. So you're almost trying to pull your left bicep over your left ear. Then from here, maybe taking that left hand up to the sky, turning it around and wrapping that left arm around the waist. And then just spending a couple of breaths here, trying to open up that left shoulder, twisting in that thoracic spine, that upper back. And then release that hand, plug it into the floor, push the floor away, and lift that right hand up to the sky. Right hand's going to come straight down. We're going to go right up with that left, taking that left hand high, and then threading that arm underneath. So this time, left ear comes down. Walk that right hand forwards. Feel that stretch along the side, and then maybe walk those fingers to the left. So you're just starting to pull open that shoulder. Then from here, lift the hand high, wrap it around the waist, and just take a couple of breaths here, pulling that right shoulder back. So your lower back is kind of exactly as it is. It's not changing, but our upper back, our thoracic, is really starting to take that twist. Bring that hand down, push the floor away. You're going to go straight up with that left hand. Nice. Bringing that left hand back down. Take the weight forwards, tuck the toes, push the weight back. Feeling that stretch in the toes. Look to the hands, spread them wide, plug the underneath of those fingers into the mat, and then send yourself up into a really conscious downward dog. So from here, you want to feel like a slight pull of the forearms towards each other, and then externally rotate the biceps of the tops of the arms. So taking like the part of the shoulder that's close to the ear and trying to roll it behind you. Good. Draw the belly in, let the head be really heavy, pedal through those feet. And then just start to sink them down to the mat. Keep the knees softly bent so you can focus on trying to get your tailbone to point as high to the sky as you possibly can. Good. We're going to lift onto the balls of the feet, ripple forwards into plank, push into the floor, spread your collarbones, squeeze your butt cheeks. Good. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, draw the navel in towards the spine, shoulders travel forwards, keep the biceps nice and close to the body, and come on down. From here, wrap the shoulders behind you, squeeze them down the back. We're retracting the shoulders as we pull open, lifting the heart off the mat. Tuck the toes, push the butt back to the heels, and then straight back up into that downward dog. Good. Like a ricochet, come forwards into that plank. Either drop the knees or take the weight forwards and see if you can lower all the way down onto the belly. From here, retract shoulders, lift the heart. If you want to, find full cobra. Try not to lock out the elbows. And then as you exhale, either through that child's pose or straight up into that downward dog, your choice. As soon as you find that downward dog, we're floating forwards again. Either from here, dropping the knees, lowering all the way down, or you're going to track forwards, lower halfway. From here, we come on tops of the toes, tops of the feet rather, pulling into upward dog. And then exhaling up and into downward dog. As soon as you find that downward dog, we're going to lift our right leg up to the sky. Look forwards, step that right foot between the hands. Take a little sway forwards and backwards. And then drop that back knee, untuck toe. Hands are going to go straight up to the sky, finding low lunge. Find that adduction. So the squeeze of the thighs towards center. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to sink back into runner's lunge. Pull the toes towards you. Your right butt cheek is probably pulling forwards. Can you pull it back? Don't worry about folding all the way over the leg. Instead, slightly tuck the chin, elongate through the crown of the head. Good. Place that foot back onto the mat. Inhale straight up into that low lunge. Hands come down to heart center. Inhale here. As we exhale, left elbow comes on up and over our knee. Get the palms of the hands parallel to the floor. Get your right elbow to stack on top of your left. Adduct the thighs, pulling them towards each other. Take an inhale here, grow through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, let's find that thoracic twist again. So pushing into the hands, trying to get the thumbs to come towards the middle of the sternum. Maybe looking up to the sky. Good. Look down, lift those hands back up. And then take them onto the mat. Tuck back toe, raise back knee, step back into plank. Your choice of vinyasa here. Inhaling is going to find that back bend. Exhale takes you back up into that downward dog. No pause here. We're going to go straight to the other side. So left leg lifts, look forwards, step that foot. Pushing yourself forwards and backwards just a couple of times. Drop back knee. Untuck toe, hands lift. Whew. Nice. Settling here. Find that adduction, that squeeze to the center. Try to pull the navel in towards the spine. And on your next exhale, sit the bum back. Find that runner's lunge. So you're pulling left toes towards you. And if the hips are kind of going a bit off square, pull the right hip forwards, left hip back. Slightly tuck the chin, pull the crown of the head forwards. Think about lengthening your spine as long as that left leg. Good. Plant that foot back onto the floor. Inhale, hands come high. Look at one thing to get your balance. Adduct those thighs. Hands come down to center. Inhale, find length. This time, right elbow comes on up and over. Get the palms of the hands parallel to the mat. Squeeze the thighs towards center. Left elbow up to the sky. Big inhale here. As you exhale, slowly start to twist, getting those thumbs towards the center of the breastbone. Stay with the breath. Look down, hands come up to the sky into that low lunge, and then straight down onto the mat. Tuck back toe, step into plank, and move through your vinyasa. Your choice here. Heading straight back up into that downward dog. Good. Okay. Right leg is going to lift. We're going to mirror all of those poses, but in a high lunge variation. So look forwards, step that right foot between the hands. Fingertips on the mat. Inhale, whoosh, up into that high lunge. So again, adduct those thighs towards each other. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Focus. Good. As you exhale, we're going to dive the hands down, straighten that front leg. Pulling right hip back, left hip forwards. Again, think about creating the spine as long as that standing leg. Breathing here. Nice. Bend in the front knee. Rise up. Good. Okay. Again, adduct. This is going to help with the balance. Hands come down to heart center. From here, left elbow crosses over that right knee. Palms flat, parallel to the floor. Elbows stack. As you exhale, start to spin. Keep that gaze on one thing. Good. Look down. Inhale, straight back into that high lunge. And then exhale, hands come down. Good. Move through that vinyasa. Nice. Back into that downward dog. And we'll do all of that on the other side. So left leg lifts up to the sky. Good. Step the foot through. Already switching on that abduction. Rise up into that high lunge. Focus on one thing. Draw the navel in. Squeeze the thighs towards each other. Big inhale here. As you exhale, hands come down. Start to straighten that left leg. High on the ball of the back foot. Pull right hip forwards, left hip back. Lengthen that spine. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Good. Look forwards, bend the knee. All the way back up into that high lunge. Hands come down to heart center. Big inhale here. Right elbow up and over that knee. Palms parallel, elbows stack. Squeeze those thighs together. Big inhale. As you exhale, can you spin in that thoracic? Breathe. Good. Look down. Keep those legs strong. Inhale, hands come all the way back up to the sky into that high lunge. And then exhale, hands come down. Keep the gaze forwards as you step into plank. Nothing to see under the body. Move through that vinyasa. Keep those elbows nice and close to the side of the body. Not so tight that you can't fit through. Good. Bum comes high. Right leg lifts. Stepping that right foot between the hands. Look forward, straight up into that high lunge. Find that abduction. As you exhale, we bow forward, straightening that front leg, pulling right hip back, left hip forwards. Breathe deeply, bend the knee, look forwards, rise up. Hands come down to heart center. As you exhale, left elbow comes on top of that right knee. Good. From here, stepping left foot to meet the right foot. Sit the butt down into a little chair here. Twist a little bit more. Nice. Breathe. Can you take the weight into the right foot and step that left foot back? Look down. Rise those hands. Rise those hands up. And then open into warrior two. You're going to feel that in that front thigh. Nice deep bend in that front knee. Arms forward. Stay with the strength. Flip that front palm. We're going to reverse, but we're going to straighten our front leg. Give that quad a little break. Reach nice and high. Come back into warrior two. Keep those hands moving. Cartwheel down. Straight into that plank. Move through that vinyasa. If you're tired, you can go straight to that downward dog. Nice. Okay, left leg lifts. Step the left foot through. Already switching on that abduction. Hands lift up to the sky. Good. Find a breath there. And on your next exhale, we dive forward, straightening that left leg, finding that stretch. Nice. Looking forwards, bending the knee straight back up into high lunge. Hands come together down to heart center. Inhale, find the length in the spine first. Then exhale, take that twist. Good. Nice. Don't worry if you wobble. From here, take the gaze down. Weight in that left foot. Can you step the right foot forwards? Squeeze the thighs together. Sit nice and low in that chair. Nice. Okay, take the weight into the left foot. Step back with the right foot. Inhale into that high lunge. And then open into that warrior two. Watch out that when you find warrior two that your navel isn't kind of just completely exploding forwards. Keep it drawing in. Flip that front palm. And then reverse warrior, but as you do, straighten your front leg. Give that quad a little break. Light on those right fingers. Good. Come back, warrior two. Keep those hands moving, cartwheeling all the way down. Nice. Gazes forwards. Step it back. Well done, guys. Last flow on each side. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. And then just open the mouth. Good. Right leg lifts. Stepping that right foot between the hands. Lift those arms up. Inhale at the top. As soon as you exhale, we float those hands down. Straighten that front leg. One breath here as you pull that hip back. And your next inhale, hands lift up to the sky. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Then when you're ready, twist and open here. Nice. From here, guys, weight in that right foot. Step that left foot forward. Sink, sink, sink. Okay, either staying here or can you squeeze the knees together and lift the left foot? If you want to take it further, can you find a float? Staying here for 3, 2, we're all going to float that foot back straight into high lunge. Good. Open into warrior 2. Nice and strong. Flip the front palm. This time, keep the knee bent. Reverse that warrior. Nice and strong. Good. Coming forwards. Option 1, forearm straight down onto thigh. Option 2, hand onto the floor. Pull that heart open. Maybe start to bring that arm over the head. If you have full bind, feel free to come into it. Good. Just find your breath. Nice. From here, rise back up, left hand onto left hip. We're going to go straight into a half moon balance. So look forwards, reach those right fingers forwards. You can use a block here. Back leg is strong. Kick into the heel. See if you can lift it higher. What can you do with that standing thigh? I want you to engage it and press that standing thigh back into your standing hamstring. Then maybe left hand lifts. Find some balance. Can you look up to the ceiling? Good. Stay for 3, 2, 1. Bring the hand down, bring the foot down, take a ragdoll. Woo! Let the head be heavy. Let there be a soft bend in the knees. Good. Hands come onto the mat. Your choice, guys. You can step, you can hop, come through a vinyasa, maybe take a child's pose. Meet me back in downward dog. Good. Okay, this is our last one. So left leg, take it high. Big ol' inhale here. As you exhale, step that left foot between the hands. Squeeze those thighs together. Lift up into that high lunge. Keep the navel drawing in. And straight away on that exhale, bow over that standing leg. Pull that hip back. Find that length. Look forwards. Bend the front knee. Rise back up into high lunge as you inhale. Hands come down as you exhale. Inhale to find the length. Then exhale, take that twist. Get comfortable there. Then step the right foot forwards. Okay, so the key to this balance is to look at something on the floor or the wall, then squeeze your knees together. Now use the hamstring to try to pull your right heel towards your butt and see if you can just stay there for a moment, like a little flamingo. Now, if you want to, you can try to float the leg back into like a weird warrior 3. Stay for 3, for 2, for 1. Float that foot back, inhaling straight up into that high lunge, and then opening into that warrior 2. Strong arms, squeeze the backs of the shoulders towards each other. Flip that front palm and reverse that warrior. Reach, reach, reach. Strong through that front thigh. Coming back forwards, thigh doesn't change. Extended side angle, arm can come down or onto the floor. Think about finding that stretch again. Rather than racing to get further into the pose, can you find the length of the stretch? Nice. Breathe here. Look down. Rise up. Right hand is going to connect to your right hip. Coming forwards with those left fingers. You can use a block again. Lift your right leg. Now get that right leg nice and strong. Now start to focus on your left thigh. Can you engage the muscles and push that left thigh into the hamstring? Then maybe that right hand lifts up to the sky. Can you start to turn the gaze slightly up? Maybe it's just at the wall. Look at a light switch. Look at a mark on the wall. Focus. Stay for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the foot down, take the hand down, find ragdoll. Whee. Nice. Shake out the head. Oh, let it all be nice and heavy. Good. You're going to drive your heels down, draw the navel in, and we're going to roll vertebrae by vertebrae up to standing. You're going to find Tadasana. Squeeze the backs of the shoulders towards each other. Turn the palms of the hands to face forwards. Actively press the feet into the floor. Close the eyes. Axial extension. I want you to imagine that your tailbone's driving down and the crown of the head is lifting up. So it's like you're trying to create more space between each of the vertebrae. There is actually a slight amount of movement here, so find it. Good. And then just start to flutter the eyes open. I am going to recommend that you do not even look at the screen. I want you to find something. We're going to come into some balancing poses. Find something to look at that isn't the screen, that isn't moving. Take the weight into the left leg and start to come onto the ball of the right foot. Now, before we come into tree, I want you to start to turn your left femur bone out to the left and then turn your right knee out to the right. So there's this kind of torque sensation, left leg bones going one way, right leg bones going the other. Then start to suction cup your right foot onto your left quad, or it's not your quad, your calf muscle. Bring the hands to heart center. So you're in like a low tree. Really push your foot into the leg, but also push your leg into the foot. Feel that external rotation, that opening. Hello, puppy. Nice. Then from here, maybe those hands come up to the sky. Draw the navel in, find that balance. Hudson always seems to come in when I'm doing balancing work. Then from here, start to bring that knee forwards. Let the torque of the left leg start to go and bring the hands to heart center. We're going to kick back into warrior three. Start to extend, but don't come as high as you normally do. So like a 45-degree angle. Now, if you're dumping into your lower back and you're really arcing, I want you to draw the belly slightly in and then kick into the heel and feel your butt cheek working to lift that leg. So rather than arcing in the lower back, squeeze the butt cheek. Nice. Hands can stay at heart center. You can Superman, arms behind you, retract the shoulders. Or if you want to work the core, hands can come forwards, biceps along the ears. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg straight. We're going to sweep the leg forwards all the way in front of you. Okay. Hands can stay up. They can stay at heart center, or you can take them onto the hips. Then from here, every time you exhale, you're going to squeeze and try to lift. It's actually not your butt, it's your quads. Okay. So it's your hip flexors lifting that leg. So you'll probably feel it in the front of the thigh and you'll feel it deep in the hip. 2 more, lift higher. Try to keep your spine straight, lift higher. Good. Take that foot down onto the mat, hands onto the hips. Let's do 3 hula hoops, one direction. Whew. Okay, this is good for the hip flexors. And then take them 3 times the other way. Good. Okay, again, I'm not even going to do the poses actually. I'm just going to talk you through them so you're not tempted to look at me. So start to find that Tadasana again. Take the weight into the right foot. Come onto the ball of the left foot. And then just start to torque your leg bones in opposite directions. So right femur is going to the right. Left femur, and femur is the big leg bone, is going to the left. Pew! You're going to feel that in the groin. You're going to feel that in the hips. Then just start to suction cup your left foot into your right calf muscle. So not very high. Keep that torque happening. Notice the difference. You can think about squeezing the butt cheeks towards each other. Okay, that action will help to open the hips. And then if you want to, hands can come high. If the hands come high, I want you to roll the backs of the scapula down. So thumbs come out to the side. Good. Then just slowly start to bring that left knee forwards and draw the hands down to heart center if they were lifted. Start to bring the leg behind you, 45 degrees. Notice if you're really arcing in the lower back. I want you to draw the navel in and try to flatten the lower back. It's going to feel harder. Then kick into the back heel and switch on your left butt cheek, the big butt cheek at the back. This is glute max. Either from here, and don't focus on getting so low. I just want you to feel that back butt cheek working. Hands can stay in prayer. Hands can come behind you like a little Superman cape, or they can come forwards if you want to work the core. If you're doing the core, try not to dump into that lower back. Stay for 3, 2, on 1, we're going to do that big old sweep. Foot comes forwards. Okay, hands can stay up. They can come down. Big inhale. You're going to draw the belly slightly in and at the same time lift the leg. So feel your hip and your rib coming slowly towards each other. And at the same time, bad boy muscle working to lift. Don't worry how high the leg is. Just feel the muscles work. For 3, 2, and 1. Place that foot down, hands on the hips. Let's do 3 hula hoops one way. And then 3 hula hoops the other way. Really try to push the hips forwards, then draw them back. Okay, that's going to drive your hips into extension. Nice stretch for that hip flexor work. Good. Okay, toes out, little bit wider than hips distance. Big inhale, bring the hands high. And as we exhale, let's sink down into our squat pose. So if the heels are lifting, take the feet wider. Press the elbows into the knees, slightly tuck the chin and grow through the crown of the head. So you can see all my hair piled at the top of my head at the back. I'm imagining that someone's like pulling that up. Good. Try not to dump into this. So lots of people take the backs of their triceps into their squat and then their whole spine is rounding. Instead, you want to think about stacking head, shoulders, and pelvis on top of each other. Good. Nice work, guys. From here, bring the butt down. And you're going to turn so that you're the same direction as I am on my mat. And you're going to bring the legs forwards. Okay. And straight away, let's just go into a floppy forward fold. So no alignment here. Oh, just let your head go. Let the muscles be soft. Let the feet be soft. If you do have blocks and you want to create a little tower to rest your head, this can be a super restorative pose. So feel free to do that. Just notice that point where the breath really starts to slow. And then if the palms are facing up, I want you to turn the palms down. I want you to slowly start to flex the feet, and you're going to start to straighten your spine. Okay, so maybe coming onto the tips of the fingers. Feel the butt cheeks traveling behind you and the hips trying to roll forwards. Maybe even slightly retracting the shoulders back. Okay, so imagine that the scapula are trying to come a little bit closer towards each other. Watch out that your chin isn't jutting forwards. Slightly tuck the chin. Inhale, find length, and then exhale, see if you can come a little further forwards. Now, you may, it's not me, but you may be very flexible. If you can keep the spine straight and grab the feet, then draw the whole torso parallel to the floor. That's fab. If not, also don't worry about it. Try to keep the ego away. So we're not rounding the back to try to get lower. We're keeping everything nice and long. Good. Okay, from here, rise back up. Right leg is going to stay put. We're going to bring our left foot in towards that thigh. So blocks can be really handy here. Don't worry if you don't have blocks. So I suppose the most intense variation of this would be placing your right forearm down onto the mat. Some of us, that's not accessible. So if you don't have a block, just take your arm onto your thigh. If you do have a block, it's a nice little ledge for you to hang out on. Then from here, flex your right foot. We're going to take left arm 45 degrees. We're going to turn our thumb behind us. This is going to externally rotate our bicep. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just start to bring that arm up. Might not come up all the way, depending on shoulder mobility. Remember those stretches we did at the beginning where I was saying lift up rather than focusing on coming down. So I can come down quite far, but my arm will start to collapse and I'm just like folding into this. There's no space. It's merely ego to try to get as far as I can. So instead, listen to your body up, whoo, and over. Like that is way more intense for me because I'm lifting up and out of the pose. I'm getting that stretch. This you can hear like, okay, I'm quite far, but I'm not actually working. I think I'm working harder because I'm looking different, but it's not actually a deeper stretch. Ooh, little fly. Good. Nice. Okay, to come out of this, you're going to bring just going to move my blocks out of the way. You're going to bring your left hand onto the floor, point your right toe, and we're just going to sweep up into a half wild thing. Let your left ear soften to your left shoulder. Press your right foot down and just let your right arm become really heavy here. Good. And then sweep back down and we're going to switch it up. So just taking the opposite foot in. Again, if you're using blocks, feel free to use them. If you don't have blocks, don't worry. Left forearm comes down. Flex the left foot, right arm, out to the side. Thumb, turn it behind you. You're going to feel the top of the shoulder roll back. Inhale, find length, then exhale, start to come over. Good. Come to a point where you start to feel the stretch, then lift up. Whoa, then come over. lift up, then come over. Good. Keep trying to pull the shoulder back, okay? The shoulder will want to come forwards. So for some people, this is as far as they can go with their shoulders, depending on what's happening with that mobility. Some people, okay, they can come really far. Some people can grab their foot. Everybody is different. Everybody and everybody. Good. Let's come back out, taking your right hand onto the mat, point the toe, lift up. Nice. Good. Let your right ear soften. Left arm nice and heavy. Push left foot into the mat. And just enjoy this stretch. Good. And then gently start to bring the bum back. Nice. Okay, we've got one more stretch left on each side. It's not one of my favorites. It's a deep hip opener. It's double pigeon. So what you want to be doing, let's start with the right leg forwards. So normally when we cross our legs, our heel comes quite close to our pubic bone. I want you to pull your foot forwards so that the shin is parallel to the front of your mat. Then you're going to grab your left leg. Now this is where you're going to see how tight my hips are. And you're going to try to place your left foot onto your right knee. Now you can see how high my knee is. Eventually, this is what we want our legs to do. It may or may not happen. Okay, so if you are very tight, I find it easier if I have a block under my right knee. If you're fine where you are, stay put. Really be strict with those shins, okay? If that foot's drawing in, it's loads easier. Like I can come a lot further forwards with that foot out, I'm getting the stretch. So if you are like moi and you really struggle with this pose, hands come slightly behind you, you work on a nice straight spine, and then you just start to send momentum forwards. If you're more open, you might be able to take the hands out to the sides. If you're very flexible, hands come forwards, you fold over those legs. You can see for me that the idea of folding over my legs, like it's just not there. So instead, think about just finding straightness in the spine and that momentum of sending the legs down. You can also flex the feet to take some pressure out of the knee joints. Good. Send the weight back so that you can change up the legs. If you need to do a windshield wipe, go for it. Otherwise, just go straight to the other side. So left shin, make sure that heel isn't creeping towards your pubic bone. Grab that right foot. And this is where we start to see the discrepancies. I mean, I don't have very many discrepancies. They're pretty much equally tight. So I like to shuffle that block there. If also this is just not vibing and you're like, this is literally killing me, straighten the bottom leg and work on this and then come forwards. Okay, you're still gonna get a stretch. I can still feel that in my hip. There's always a way to make this a bit more accessible. So find that straightness of the spine. Keep the straightness of the spine. Try not to round the shoulders forwards. Move from the hip joint, okay? As you move forwards with the torso, you're taking the hips into deeper external rotation and deeper flexion. You're asking a lot from them, but we're all doing way too much sitting, so I think we should really spend more time on our hips. Good, nice. Slowly send that weight back, feet on the floor if that feels good, little windshield wipe. Nice. Okay, so coming into a seated position, so Sukhasana, easy seated. If you want, sit on your block. You might feel more comfortable sitting on the floor now that we've done some hip work and we've flowed, we've moved the body. So we're gonna do a down regulating breath just before we come into our Shavasana. So we're gonna do a Brahmari breath, and this is one of my favorites. It's humming bee breath. And essentially all you're gonna do is every time you exhale, you're just gonna so this one can be kind of embarrassing if you're in a studio, but you're on your own, maybe. Every time you exhale, you're just gonna hum. And it's not a competition of like how long you can go. It doesn't matter how long you go, just repeat it. So I'm gonna give us 60 seconds to do Brahmari breath. So when you're ready, just inhaling. Notice the texture the vibration. Notice how it's bringing you within yourself. Another 20 seconds here. Just keep going. So if you want to, and it feels good, continue doing some Brahmari breath. Go as long as you'd like. Try to keep the eyes closed without thinking about it too much. When you're ready, okay, you can keep humming along if that feels good. You're going to make your way into Shavasana. Okay, so you're moving when you feel ready. You're taking any kind of poses along the way if that feels good, or you're spending a little bit more time just humming away to yourself. And when you find that Shavasana, if you need something to place over you, a blanket, some socks, or maybe you feel quite warm from your practice, just come to lay down. Just allowing the legs to go into natural external rotation as the toes flop open. Allow the thumbs to come away from the body as they externally rotate. Slightly tucking the chin to elongate the back of the neck. And just take an inhale here. And do one nice Brahmari hum and let that lead you into your Shavasana. Gently start to tease some deeper breaths back into the body. And keeping the body still, just allow the breath to move, perhaps the belly, the ribs, maybe feeling the shoulders or the backs of the arms move. And just start to wiggle in your fingers and your toes. And then start to zip the legs together, point the toes, and then you're going to reach the arms over the head. We're going to interlace the fingers like we did at the start of the class. Flip the palms and take a nice big inhale here. Lengthen as long as you possibly can, and then hold the breath. And when you can't hold it anymore, just open the mouth and sigh that breath all the way out. And at the end of that exhale, allow yourself to move into embryo pose, rolling over onto the right or the left-hand side. Stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips, and keeping the eyes closed. When you're ready, pushing yourself back into that seated position. This time we're going to turn our palms to face down and just let the fingers curl around the palms. Just taking a moment to really solidify, absorb, download all of the hard work that you've done. Maybe noticing any small or subtle changes in your body, your breath, or your mind between when you first woke up, when you first sat down to practice today. Then bringing our palms to touch above the head, sealing our practice with gratitude. We bring our thumbs to the space between the brow for kindness in our thoughts, to the lips for kindness in our words, and then resting at heart center for you to carry kindness, compassion, and action through the rest of your day. Opening the eyes. Well done, guys. Namaste. Well done, team. Good job.